How are you today? Are you excited to learn more today? Me too! Together, we will explore the world of English. Are you ready? Let's go! Here are the things that we should learn by the end of this lesson. Learn how to finish incomplete stories, give the appropriate ending of the story, and write a paragraph with an appropriate ending. But before that, we will have a review first. Can you still remember the lesson that we had last week? Very good! Last week, we discussed about describing the characters in a story read or listened to. Characters are people, animals, things or creatures in a story. The character who is the focus in the story is called main character. The characters are the actors in the story. In describing a character, we took at characters' thoughts, actions, feelings and emotions, motivations and words to infer character traits and physical appearance. Do you know the story The Little Red Riding Hood? Great! Let us describe the main character of the story. The main character of the story is Little Red Riding Hood. Now, how would you describe Little Red Riding Hood? Remember, we can describe the characters by its physical appearance or look-like and their attitudes. We can say that Little Red Riding Hood is beautiful. She has brown hair and fair skin. She also wears a red hood. Little Red Riding Hood is kind, helpful, and obedient. Well done, kids! Do you enjoy reading books? Do you like to make your own ending of a story? Well, if you do, I am sure you will enjoy this lesson. Let's begin with a story. Rose is a nurse. She is a frontline worker during the COVID-19 pandemic. She helps the doctor in taking care of the sick. She also wears a face mask, gloves, goggles, head and shoe covers, and gowns. After 2 weeks of working, she wants to go home with her family. Before going home, she needs to have a swab test. The result of the test will tell if she is infected with the virus. After 3 days, she got the result. Do you like the story? Great! Now let us try to answer the following questions. From the story, who is Rose? Rose is a nurse and a frontline worker during the COVID-19 pandemic. Question number 2. What is her job? Very good. She helps the doctor in taking care of the sick. Why did she undergo a swab test? That's right, because it is a protocol that before going home, she needs to have a swab test. Now, what do you think is the result of the test? What do you think is the ending of the story? Can you guess the ending of the story? From the story, here is a possible ending. Rose is scared to open the result of her swab test. As she reads the result, she smiles. She is negative of the virus. She is now safe to go home. Her family is happy to see her. Do we have the same possible ending? Well done! Have you ever read a story that have an ending you did not like? Did you imagine a new ending for the characters involved? Creating an ending in a story is a fun activity that can help develop your own writing skills. Stories have their ending. The word end means what happened to the characters at the last part of the story. It can be happy, memorable, sad, or good. And the good news is, you can actually make your own ending of the story. Now here are some steps on how to write an ending of a story. Step number 1. Listen carefully to a story. When you are finished, discuss the ending and study the last lines of the story. Step number 2. Make an outline by gathering all ideas that you have out of the story. Step number 3. Write a paragraph by using the outline that would catch the interest of the reader. Step number 4. Use words that can make your ending more interesting. And the last step is to end the story with a lesson or hope. Now let us try to make an ending with this story. One day, Jerry saw a bird on a branch of a tree. He got a round pebble. He got his sling. He hits the bird. If you were the author of the story, what is the best ending that you can give? Let us now apply the steps on how to make an ending of a story. From the outline in step number 2, we can come up with our prediction. Prediction is a kind of story ending. The reader or the author makes a guess on what will happen next. So what do you think is going to happen? Remember, it should catch the interest of the readers. Let us now make the outline. From the story, the last part is Jerry hits the bird. So we can write, the bird got hurt. Jerry went near the bird and saw what happened. Upon seeing the bird, he felt sorry. And let's remember, we should end the story with a hope or a moral lesson. So we can write, at the end, he allowed the bird to fly and never hurt birds anymore. So we are now ready to make the paragraph. But remember, we indent the first sentence when we are writing a paragraph. We begin each sentence with a capital letter and ends with a period. Now let us read our paragraph. The bird got hurt. Jerry went near the bird and saw what happened. Upon seeing the bird, he felt sorry. At the end, he allowed the bird to fly and never hurt birds anymore. Well done, kids! You are now ready to answer our first activity. Activity number 1. Look at each picture. Read the beginning of each story and choose which sentence best finishes the story. Are you ready? Let's start! Number 1. Natalie woke up and looked outside. It was very sunny and clear. She was so excited to meet her friend Avery to play in the park. She decided to put on A. Her hat and sandals, B. Her heavy coat, mittens, and boots. The answer is very good, letter A. Number 2. Gio was making a cake for his brother's birthday. He started by looking at the recipe and getting out of all his ingredients. Then he began, letter A, to mix the ingredients one at a time, or letter B, to decorate the cake for the party. The correct answer is great! Letter A. Number 3. The pilot got the plane ready for takeoff. He checked all the instruments and told his crew to buckle in. Then he, A, started to lift the plane off the ground, or letter B, landed the plane on the runway. The correct answer is very good. The answer is letter A. Number 4. Queenie was ready for the dance show. She had done her steps over and over. Before the show, she felt sure of herself. She smiled as she came into the stage. Then Queenie, A, forgot all the dance steps, or letter B, did the dance well. And the correct answer is very good. It's letter B. And for the last number, Jenny knew a storm was coming. The sky was gray. A strong wind began to blow. Thunder rolled. Jenny decided to A, go outside and play, or letter B, stay inside with her family. The correct answer is, that's right, it's letter B. Good job, kids! Activity number 2. Match the event to its most possible ending. Write the letter on the space provided. I will give you 2 minutes to do the task. Are you ready? Let's start! Time's up, kids! Now let us check if your answers are correct. For number 1, the answer is letter C. Number 2, letter A. Number 3 is letter D. And number 4 is letter B. Well done, kids! Always remember, a good ending to a story is very important to the readers. It arouses emotions like anger or sadness. It may also change the point of view of the reader and opens his mind to new ideas. One kind of ending a story is called a prediction ending. The author makes a prediction of what will happen next based on the events of the story. This kind of ending makes the reader think beyond the end of the story. And for our assessment, read the sentences. Predict what is most likely to happen next and choose the letter of your answer. Are you ready? Let's start! Now let us check your answers. For number 1, it's letter A. Number 2 is letter C. Number 3 is letter B. Number 4 is letter A. And number 5 is letter B. Very good, kids! That's all for today, kids. This is Teacher Camille. And always remember, learning in English is